Hey guys, so I did want to come and give you guys my review on this Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I have seen a lot of uproar about this foundation on YouTube, and I, as of lately, have been on the market for looking for a new foundation. And I do kind of tend to gravitate more to the matte foundations, and then I can always make my face look dewy or whatever by adding a highlight or even just adding a moisturizer to make it look a little bit more like skin instead of looking so flawless. So this foundation was definitely one that I was most interested in, and this is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless Foundation for normal to oily skin. Looks like that. I don't know what happens, but once you unscrew the top, the back ends up wherever it wants, which is on the back of the foundation at the moment. But this is pretty much what it looks like, and I got mine in the color 330. So right off the bat, one thing that I can say about this foundation is that it is extremely matte. When you're first applying it to the face, it doesn't come off to be, you know, as matte as it finishes. However, you know, when it dries, it is completely matte, and that is definitely something that I love about this foundation. Another thing that I love about this foundation is that it is almost dead on to my skin tone, and as of lately I have been having a lot of trouble with finding a foundation that is my skin tone. Either they're too orange or they have too much of a yellow undertone, which tends to make it look ashy or almost gray on my skin tone. One other thing that I can also say about this foundation is that when you're getting it out of the packaging and applying it to your hand, it is a bit runny. It's not the runniest I've seen. However, it's not extremely thick the way that my other foundations are, and I think that it really doesn't affect the foundation, nor does it affect the finish or the way that the foundation applies. But that's just something to keep in mind. Don't just go douncing the foundation out like I did, because you'll have foundation everywhere. Like I said, just don't go turning the foundation up, because, you know, it is a little bit more runny, or not runny, but a little bit more liquefied than most foundations, especially the ones that I have used lately. So I would definitely keep that in mind while you're applying the foundation. Just don't go turning the dang on bottle up, and because you'll have a complete mess. One thing that I will say about this foundation is that you most definitely do have to use a primer. You have to use a primer because, one, if you have large pores like I do, they will be very prominent. You will be able to see every last pore on your face. So I definitely do suggest that you do use a primer, because it will definitely blur the look of your pores and make them look a little bit less noticeable. So I would definitely suggest that you do use a primer. Two, also, if you have any dry spots on your face, this foundation will definitely cling to it. I do have a couple breakouts over here simply because I have been trying out a couple of foundations that have really been messing up my skin, and I have, you know, pretty much been taking good care of my skin since I've been trying out these new cleansers, and they have been working out. But since I have been trying out these foundations, they have been breaking me out like crazy. But that's subject. But I would definitely suggest that you do use a primer, because like I was saying, if you have any pimples or any dry spots or any scars, because that's what this pimple turned into from me constantly picking it, it turned into scars. So if you have any scars or dry spots or whatever it is on your face, I will most definitely suggest that you do use a primer, because if you don't use a primer, this foundation will cling to those scars, those dry spots, and it will most definitely look like you have something on your face, and it will almost make it look cakey. So I would highly suggest that you do use a primer. However, one thing that I love about this foundation is the finish. As I said earlier, when you apply it to your face, it doesn't go on matte. However, in a matter of maybe 5 minutes or so after foundation sets, it looks completely matte. And this one I really do love, because it looks like my skin. I have yet to find a foundation that looks like skin, and this one definitely matches me to a T, and this is one that I really do enjoy. Another thing that I can say about this foundation, with it being matte, it definitely comes off as looking almost like you have a filter over your face, which is almost scary because your skin looks flawless. And I tend to find myself wanting my flaws to show through. Like, I do have scarring over here, I do have bumps. I'm sure you guys may want to cover that, but however, I still want my skin to kind of look like skin, and this foundation most definitely makes your skin look flawless. So I would definitely give this foundation a 5 out of 5 stars, because it has medium to full coverage. Of course, it is buildable, But right off the bat, 5 stars because it completely covers all of my scars and blemishes. As far as wear, I would also give this foundation maybe a 4 out of 5 stars. I say that because after a while, your skin, or if you're oily like me, your oils will start to protrude through the foundation. I tend to get oily around my nose and sometimes on my forehead and even on my lips sometimes. But if you are oily, that is something to definitely be cautious of. Add a little bit more powder or keep some blotting sheets with you just so you could dab over those areas so that your oils won't peek through. But I would give this foundation a 4 out of 5 as far as wear. So as far as coverage, I give this foundation a 5 out of 5 stars. For wear, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. And the packaging is also cute as well. One thing that I wish it had was a pump, just so it'll make it a little bit easier when you go to apply. It's not so messy, as you guys can see or may not be able to see. I have foundation all over the back of my hand from when I go to apply the foundation, so it is a little bit messy. So as far as packaging, I'd probably give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because, you know, with it having this this type of dispenser, it is a little bit more difficult to control the amount of product that you have coming out, and also it's a little bit inconvenient, but that's not something to take away the actual product that's inside, which I absolutely love. Overall, I really hope that this review was helpful to anyone that was on the market to looking for a foundation, and someone that was just interested as to how this foundation works, especially on someone with oily skin or even someone of a darker skin tone. I'm not the darkest of the bunch, but I do have pigment to my skin. So if this was helpful to you guys, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you guys found it helpful, and I really hope that you guys enjoy and have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you guys later. So bye.